UFC Rio is this weekend. Charles Oliveira is back in his hometown in the main event on short notice, fighting Mateusz Gamrot in potentially his last ever MMA fight. This could be the end of Charles Oliveira, fighting someone on such a quick turnaround from his devastating knockout loss to Ilia Topuria in his hometown, which just kind of tells me that this might be it for Charles Oliveira. He wants to end his career in his hometown. He's still fighting a good opponent. He was originally scheduled to fight Rafael Fiziev. Fiziev pulled out due to injury. Gamrot steps in on short notice to save the main event. And I think this could be it for Charles Oliveira. I think he recognizes that he will never be champion again. He's getting older. He's taken a lot of damage in his career. And this is probably the last time the UFC will be in Rio where Charles Oliveira can retire, where he's still at the top. He's ranked number 4 in the division, and I think this is it for Charles Oliveira. And although he is fighting someone with really good wrestling and has knockout power on short notice, and yes, Charles Oliveira is coming off a very quick turnaround from that devastating knockout loss to Ilia Topuria, I am still favoring Charles Oliveira to beat Mateusz Gamrot this weekend, and I think he will finish him. Charles Oliveira, his chin might be gone. That could be it. We've seen UFC fighters where their chin just goes, like Chuck Liddell, Anderson Silva, Tyron Woodley, Tony Ferguson, and we could see Gamrot just land like one good clean punch and Oliveira gets knocked out, right? But I am still counting on Charles Oliveira's knockout power and his devastating jiu-jitsu finish ability. He's still a really good grappler and can finish you from anywhere. And although Gamrot is coming in as a fresher opponent, as a fresher challenger to Oliveira, I still think Charles Oliveira can finish Gamrot. Gamrot is a good wrestler, but he's not like Arman Tsarukyan where he'll hold you down and look to finish you in the jiu-jitsu. He's really just looking to hold you down and land some ground and pound. And I think that is also a great position for Charles Oliveira because when we've seen Gamrot fight and make some dumb decisions before, like Beneil Dariush, the Dan Hooker fight, the Jalen Turner fight. Gamrot isn't that clean of a striker. He's pretty sloppy. We saw that against Beneil Dariush. If Beneil Dariush knocks you out on the feet, it just shows that you're not that good of a striker because he is a sloppy striker, and Charles Oliveira knocked him out on the feet, you know? I think Gamrot is a good challenger. He's a good fighter. He's got good wrestling. He's got knockout power, but he does make a lot of mistakes, and he looks sloppy when he fights. And in my opinion, if Charles Oliveira is the man who we, knew as the guy when he was a champion, the guy who was at the top, who can finish anybody on the ground, who has that knockout power that, drops people like Chandler, Justin Gaethje, Dustin Poirier, I think this is an easy win for Charles Oliveira. Gamrot can land a clean right hand on Oliveira, and Oliveira's chin is just gone. That could happen. But I am counting on this being Charles Oliveira's last ever MMA fight. So he's going in there with some high emotions. This is his hometown. This is his crowd. The people are going to be booing Gamrot. So I think this just elevates Oliveira's position. And Oliveira is still a pretty clean striker. Even in that loss to Ilia Topuria, he was landing some good strikes. And even on the ground, he almost had that leg lock against Ilia Topuria. So he's still fast, and I think he's somewhat fresh. The biggest knock on Oliveira in this fight is the quick turnaround. How does Oliveira's body hold up? How does his chin hold up? And I don't know if that will really be a problem, given that Gamrot isn't the cleanest striker. It's not like he has Dustin Poirier's boxing, right? He has the Bilal Muhammad striking, the Beneil Dariush striking, where it's just overhands and uppercuts. And as long as you don't get hit with that, you're fine on the feet. Gamrot does like to spam wrestle, and I think this is where he makes a lot of mistakes, like the Jalen Turner fight, the Dan Hooker fight, where once he's getting messed up on the feet, he'll just shoot on you. And against someone like Charles Oliveira, that's not a good thing to do because he'll just catch you in a guillotine. And this fight could end in a guillotine. If Gamrot's getting lit up on the feet and he shoots for a takedown, Oliveira could surprise him with a quick, 10-figure guillotine or just maybe a regular guillotine. I'm picking Charles Oliveira to beat Gamrot. And I'd be willing to bet this is Charles Oliveira's last ever fight in MMA. And I want him to hang up his gloves on a high. I don't want it to be like Dustin Poirier, where we make it out to be this insane thing and then Dustin Poirier loses pretty badly to Max Holloway, you know? I'd rather Charles Oliveira just go in his hometown, you know, announce at the end, hey, this is my last ever fight. Thank you so much for all the memories. I'll never forget it. And that's it, you know. This is going to be an interesting matchup because Gamrot can surprise people. Maybe he has a new tool in his bag, but fighting Charles Oliveira on short notice, I don't really think we'll be able to see something crazy, but it could happen. I'm picking Charles Oliveira to beat Gamrot by submission. I would like to say rear naked choke because Oliveira is pretty good at getting the back, and I think Gamrot's going to be a little takedown heavy. He's just going to keep shooting, and maybe Oliveira will be able to find the back somehow. I'm picking rear naked choke against Gamrot, second round, and he retires, and that's the end for Charles Oliveira. That's what I'm predicting for this weekend, but who knows? Anything can happen. It's MMA. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Be sure to like, comment who you think will win, and subscribe for more content like this. See you in the next video.